Recently, I had polled you guys on YouTube asking what amount of money, a take-home paycheck, would you consider low income? A majority of you said at least $2,000 or less would be considered low income. And obviously this fluctuates depending on how many people are in your household, where you live, and what kind of bills that you have associated with your income. So I thought we would do a little table work today to map out exactly how to budget with a low income. And spoiler alert, budgeting with a low income is pretty much the same as budgeting with a high income. Also, stick around. I am collaborating with Nolan Govea, so you'll want to check out his video. He is covering the exact same topic, where you can check out more about investing, entrepreneurship, and finance over on his channel. And make sure that you have the budget toolkit downloaded. That is my free budget spreadsheet that I've been using since 2011 to track my income and expenses to help me pay off debt. Stick around. Hey, what's up guys? It's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. Now, back in 2011, when I graduated from college, I graduated with $35,000 in student loan debt. My very first job, I was bringing in roughly $2,000 per month for my take-home pay. With that take-home pay, I was able to quickly accelerate my debt payoff journey and also spend on the things that I really loved and valued. Now, I'm going to share with you exactly how I did that using some real numbers from my 2012 budget spreadsheet. Pretty crazy that I still have that around. All right, let's hop over to my kitchen table and I'll show you what's going on. All right, so let's take a look at an income, a monthly take home of $2,000. The first thing that you'll want to start with are your fixed expenses. Your fixed expenses is any mandatory spending that is predictable and needed to cover your basic living expenses. So things like rent, or a mortgage payment, your utilities, cell phone, internet, groceries, and then any car-related expenses such as gas or insurance. These are what I consider to be part of your basic living expenses, what you absolutely have to cover out of your take-home pay. The next area that I would focus on are any outstanding debts that you might have. And here we're just going to focus on covering at least the minimum payments. So you are going to list out the minimum payments. And then when I write this down, I also like to include the interest rate and then the total outstanding balance so that I know exactly what to focus on. You can either pay off your debt using the debt snowball method, which focuses on the smallest outstanding balance, or you can use a debt avalanche method, which focuses on the highest interest rate. So we'll do total outstanding balance here. And again, when it comes to budgeting this out on a low income, just focus on the minimum payments for now, and then we can come up with a plan to really accelerate that. Next section would be fun, your fun category. This is spending that makes life more comfortable, fun, and easy. Think about restaurants or clothes. I also categorize any like miscellaneous shopping here from Amazon or Target, and then also gifts. If you're buying birthday, Christmas gifts, anything like that goes underneath the fun. Then we are going to take a look at any future savings that you might have that requires a little bit more diligent planning, such as savings for a vacation. Maybe you want to save up for a down payment. A replacement car is also a very good idea to start saving for. And then definitely if you don't have an emergency fund, you'll want to make sure that you are building up funds for this as well. So the way that I like to break this down, especially, is we know that one of the biggest expenses out of our budget is going to be your living expense. That's going to be your rent or your mortgage. And typically I like to abide by the rule of making sure that my rent or mortgage payment is no higher than 35% of my take home. So in this example, if we're talking about $2,000, 35% would be $700 per month. Your rent or mortgage payment cannot be more than $700 per month. If you're living in a low cost of living area, this actually works really well. You could get by with a $700 monthly rent and be fine. However, if you are living in a higher cost of living area, you definitely want to make sure that you are splitting the cost of the rent or a mortgage payment with somebody else. Maybe it's a roommate, roommate, a partner, roommates, plural. You want to make sure that you get this down as cheaply as possible. And remember that a $2,000 monthly take home is not forever. You have the choice and opportunity to increase this income over time. That's exactly what I did. I started off making $2,000 in take home, and this roughly translated to about a $33K salary. Obviously, I had taxes and some insurance deductions taken out of the paycheck in order for it to be this amount. You can since scale it up over time based on your credentials and experience working in the workplace. All right, then with utilities, let me just pull up, I'm gonna pull up this example here and I'm gonna write in exactly what I ended up paying. This is really kind of interesting. All right, so for my utilities, at the time that I was making $2,000 in take home, I actually did not pay for water or trash because that was included in my apartment's rent. My electricity bill was about $10. Now I split my cost of my rent with a roommate, and at the time my rent was $300. My portion was $378, so we split it. She also paid $378. We were living in downtown Kansas City at that time. My electric bill was super cheap because one, we never turned on the lights, and two, during the winter we actually had an old steam furnace, steam boiler, so that heated up our place, and then we had window units, so we didn't have any central heating and air in our place, which made our utilities extremely low. We also didn't pay for internet because we lived on top of the office, the property management office, and they did not have their Wi-Fi secured, so we took advantage of that. That's so funny. My cell phone bill at that time was $36 per month. And then we didn't have the internet. And then groceries, I'm just looking here, I spent about $94, $135, another $100. Yeah, groceries was very minimal. So I'll say $150 per month on my groceries. Keep in mind, this take home again was just for one person. And then I was able to take advantage of free lunches at my office, or I was able to, on the weekends, on Sunday, I would go home for dinner. Any car related expenses, now this one actually did get a little pricey because I was traveling 2 hours back and forth to see my then boyfriend, now husband, but gas was around $165 per month, and I only carried liability insurance on my 2002 Ford ZX2, and that ended up being around $35 per month. So all in, we're looking about $200 per month for car related expenses. Then I really focused on making sure I hit those minimum payments for my debt. At that time, I owed $50 per month at least to my family member who had given me a personal loan so that I could study abroad during college. Then I had a loan from Sallie Mae that was $54 per month. I had my Department of Education loans, which was $261 per month. And then I owed money directly to my university's foundation. They gave me a loan. The loan was $1,500 per month, and I want to say that minimum balance was also $50. I see on my spreadsheet that I was putting $300 towards that loan, but I also think that that was the loan that I was focused on attacking. So we'll say $50 there. So all in, 100, 361, we're looking at over $400 in monthly minimum payments. Okay, and so my outstanding balance was $35K at the time, and then my interest rates varied. It varied from 0% from my family member, which was amazing, to 6.5% on my federal student loans. Next, we're gonna take a look at what I spent money on for fun. Okay, so fun money, I had a category called blow money where I could just blow it on whatever, and that was $250. I also had put money towards restaurants. I did $70 towards restaurants. Clothing actually got it $0, and I'm thinking I probably used part of my blow money to put towards clothes, but I didn't actually have anything written out for in any type of clothes. Also, shopping pretty much goes along the line of my blow money. And instead of gifts, I actually had a category for ATM where I could pull out about $100 to spend on whatever I want, and I frequently would spend money on like baby shower gifts or somebody's birthday. I also factored in $8 for Netflix. and then $40 for hair care, which that's pretty generous because I very rarely got my hair cut. The vacation fund got about $50, and this was minimum. Sometimes I would put more depending on how close I got to paying off my debts. And then if I paid off one of the smallest outstanding debts, I would put more money towards the vacation, because I did take vacations during my debt-free journey. I went to Colorado, California, Florida, Puerto Rico, all in the span of paying off that $35K, and I paid that off in 2.5 years, making this kind of money. And then I since increased over that 2.5 years to $41,000 per year, and I think that translated to about $2,500 per month. Okay, I was not saving for a down payment at that time. I was not saving for a second car either. I actually didn't start saving for a second car until I became debt free. My emergency fund got a good portion of my income too. So I put $100 per month towards the emergency fund. So you can see how I've broken down all of this, right? Let's take a look at this by popping this open on my calculator. So I started with $2,000, and we're taking care of the basic living expenses first, including my rent, utilities, cell phone, didn't have to pay for internet, that was a godsend, groceries, and then car-related expenses, including gas and insurance. So I had $1,200 left over. Next, I want to make sure that I'm covering my minimum payments at least. So I did $50, $54 to Sallie Mae, $261 to federal loans, and then $50 towards my foundation loan. That left about $811 for fun and any future savings. So I did $70 for restaurants, $100 from the ATM, $250 for the blow, $48 towards Netflix and hair care, and then I did $150 towards savings for vacation and the emergency fund. That gave me $193 left over in my budget that I definitely put towards these smallest outstanding balances here. Now, the way that I was able to make all of this work is by focusing on making sure my basic living needs were very, very minimal. So I was focusing on getting a roommate and then increasing my income over time, keeping all of these living expenses very low, not upgrading my car, literally driving the same car since I was 15 years old. Even after I got in a rear end accident that completely shattered my bumper and bent the frame and everything, like I still drove the car as is because I was so laser focused on getting rid of this $35,000 in student loan debt. When I got rid of that, I was able to take that income and start adding in some future savings, start adding more discretionary spending towards my fund money. And then ultimately, when I met my husband, we got married and combined our incomes. We were able to really live cheaply while we were in Kansas and ultimately find new opportunities out in Southern California, which is where we're at today. All right, that's a look at how you can budget realistically, because I was taking home this amount of money. This is how you can budget realistically with low income. I hope that gives you some ideas of how you can do this for yourself. Okay, that was a look at how you can budget with a low income. I think people who have low incomes can actually budget maybe even better than people with high incomes, because there's less discretionary spending that gets in the way. You have a very clear-cut plan of that money that is going to your basic living needs first, followed by your debt, and then all of the extra stuff that comes along after that. Don't forget, if you want to map this out for yourself with a very clear, easy, simple to use spreadsheet, you'll definitely want to check out my budget toolkit, which is linked below, that is available for free for you to download. If you like this one, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Nolan Govea's video on this exact same topic and get a fresh perspective from his channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.